The Advanced Nurturing High School, ANHS, is a prestigious school that only admits students who are in the top 1% of their academic year. Every year, ANHS receives thousands of applications, but only a handful of students make the cut. However, in a rare turn of events, 7 once-in-a-generation talents apply to ANHS in the same year. These students are Kiyotaka Ayana Koji from Classroom of the Elite, Izaoi Sakamaki from Problem Children Are Coming from Another World, Aren't They?, Erda Kasuga from Trinity 7, Sans, Daster, and Papyrus, the human versions of characters from Undertale, and Shiro, a brilliant and emotionless strategist from No Game No Life. Rather than placing them all in Class A, the school decides to assign them to their own experimental class, Class E. Despite their disadvantage in number and lack of resources like private points, can this small class of brilliant students climb to the top of the school? The first semester's midterm exam is fast approaching, and the students of Class E are preparing for the challenge ahead. Kiyotaka Ayana Koji, the quiet and reserved student who seems to blend into the background, is focused on achieving the highest score possible. He's confident in his abilities, but he knows that he can't let his guard down in a school filled with talented students. Izaoi Sakamaki, the arrogant and confident student from another world, is also preparing for the exam. He believes that he's superior to all the other students and that he'll easily pass the exam. However, he's in for a rude awakening when he realizes that the other students are just as talented as he is. Erda Kasuga, the perverted and flirtatious student from Trinity 7, is more focused on impressing the female students than he is on studying for the exam. However, he knows that he can't afford to fail and embarrass himself in front of his crushes. Meanwhile, Sans, Daster, and Papyrus are trying to adapt to their new human forms and the culture of the school. They're not used to the strict rules and regulations of ANHS and find it difficult to fit in. Shiro, on the other hand, is more concerned with strategizing for the exam. She's analyzing every detail and coming up with a plan to ensure that Class E comes out on top. As the days go by, tensions rise within the class. The students are competitive, and everyone wants to be the best. However, they soon realize that they'll have to work together if they want to succeed. With the midterm exam fast approaching, can this small class of brilliant students overcome their differences and climb to the top of the school? As the school year begins, the 7 talented students are introduced to their new classmates and teacher. Class E is located in a small building on the outskirts of the school, separate from the luxurious campus of Class A. The students quickly realize the disadvantages of being in Class E. They have no access to private points and are looked down upon by the other students. Despite these setbacks, the students are determined to succeed. Kiyotaka Ayana Koji, the quiet and mysterious student, is quickly recognized as the de facto leader of the class. His intelligence and strategic thinking are crucial in helping the class navigate their way through the school's challenges. Izaoi Sakamaki, the confident and cocky problem child, is eager to prove his worth to the class. His incredible abilities make him a valuable asset in any situation. Erda Kasuga, the charming and charismatic mage, quickly becomes popular among his classmates. His magic skills are invaluable in helping the class in various situations. Sans, Daster, and Papyrus, the 3 Undertale characters, quickly become popular among the students due to their quirky personalities and unique abilities. Sans' ability to teleport, Daster's mastery of space and time, and Papyrus' incredible strength make them valuable assets to the class. Shiro, the brilliant and emotionless strategist, provides invaluable insight into the workings of the school. Her ability to analyze and predict the actions of others proves crucial in helping the class overcome their obstacles. Sora, the cunning and confident gamer, quickly becomes close friends with the class. His experience in games gives him a unique perspective on the challenges they face in the school. As the semester progresses, the class faces various challenges, from tests to competitions to conflicts with other students. However, their determination and talent allow them to overcome these obstacles, gradually gaining the respect of their fellow students. Despite their successes, the class is still looked down upon by the school's administration, who see them as little more than a failed experiment. However, the students refuse to give up, determined to prove their worth and show that they are just as capable as their more privileged classmates. As the semester comes to a close, the students are faced with their greatest challenge yet, the school's end-of-semester exam. With their futures on the line, the students must work together to overcome the difficult tests and prove their worth. The day of the exam arrives, and the students are tense with anticipation. They enter the exam room, knowing that their success or failure will determine their future at the school. The exam is grueling, testing their knowledge, skills, and endurance. After what seems like an eternity, the exam finally ends. The students leave the room, exhausted but hopeful. They know that they gave it their all, and they can only hope that it was enough. As they await the results, the students reflect on their experiences over the semester. They have come a long way since their first day in Class E, and they have grown both as individuals and as a group. They know that no matter what the future holds, they have each other and their determination to succeed. Will they pass the exam and prove their worth to the school's administration? Or will their hard work be for naught? The students can only wait and hope for the best. The first day of class arrives and the students are gathered in a large auditorium, waiting for the opening ceremony to begin. Kiyotaka, Izaoi, Arita, Sans, Gaster, Papyrus, Shiro, and Sora sit together in the back row, observing the other students around them. Kiyotaka is a reserved young man, his face typically expressionless, but his eyes are constantly surveying his surroundings, analyzing and calculating everything he sees. Izaoi, on the other hand, is the opposite, grinning and cheerful, but with a sharp wit and a mischievous glint in his eye. Arita is quiet, his face typically hidden behind a book or his hand, but he seems to have a deep knowledge of magic and a talent for manipulating reality. Sans and Papyrus are identical twins, with Sans being the more laid-back and pun-loving of the two, while Papyrus is more energetic and optimistic. Gaster is the quietest of the group, his face often shrouded in shadow, but his presence exudes an otherworldly aura. Finally, there's Shiro and Sora, the siblings from the world of Discord, with Shiro being the strategist and Sora the charismatic leader. As the ceremony begins, the students are addressed by the principal of ANHS, a stern and imposing figure who stresses the importance of academic excellence and discipline. The students are then given a speech by the headmaster of Class A, who boasts of their superiority and warns the other students not to challenge them. Kiyotaka and his friends watch with indifference, knowing that their own class will face many challenges and obstacles on their journey to the top. After the ceremony, the students are dismissed to their respective classes, and Kiyotaka and his friends make their way to Class E, which is located in a remote corner of the school. The classroom is old and run down, with tattered curtains and chipped paint on the walls. The desks and chairs are mismatched, some of them broken or missing altogether. Kiyotaka and his friends take their seats, looking around the room with mild disappointment. However, Kiyotaka notes that the room has potential, and with a bit of effort, they can turn it into a suitable learning environment. He suggests to his classmates that they work together to clean and organize the room, and they all agree. Over the course of several days, they clean the room, repair the broken furniture, and decorate the walls with motivational posters and artwork. As they work, Kiyotaka takes note of his classmates' strengths and weaknesses, analyzing their personalities and abilities. He sees potential in each of them, and he knows that if they work together and play to their strengths, they can achieve great things. Meanwhile, the students of Class A continue to look down on Class E, dismissing them as insignificant and unworthy of attention. However, Kiyotaka and his friends remain undeterred, determined to prove themselves and climb to the top of the school. The advisor stood before the class and informed them that they did not have a teacher assigned to be their homeroom teacher. The students began to murmur amongst themselves, wondering what this could mean for them. Just then, Gaster spoke up and stated that he was actually a professor in the underground. The other students looked at him incredulously, wondering what he meant by the underground. However, Gaster simply waved it off, telling them not to worry about it, as it was not important. Sans and Papyrus, however, quickly spoke up in support of Gaster being their homeroom teacher and a student at the same time. Kiyotaka and Azaoi saw the potential advantages that this could bring, despite the strange situation, while Erida relished in the chaos and the potential for interesting situations that could arise. The advisor seemed skeptical, but Gaster was insistent that he could handle both roles. With no other options, the advisor finally relented, and Gaster was officially made the homeroom teacher of Class E. The students cheered, feeling relieved that they would finally have someone to guide them through their time at ANHS. Over the next few weeks, Gaster proved to be an unusual but effective teacher, providing the students with unique insights and perspectives. Despite his strange demeanor, the students grew to respect him and his unorthodox teaching methods. As they approached the first semester's midterm exam, tensions ran high within the class. Kiyotaka and Azaoi studied diligently, determined to excel in their studies despite their lack of private points. Erida continued to revel in the chaos, always looking for new and interesting ways to approach the material. Meanwhile, Sans and Papyrus continued to provide a light-hearted atmosphere within the class, using their humor and wit to diffuse tense situations. Shiro remained stoic and focused, always looking for the most efficient way to approach any given problem. And Sora, well, Sora seemed to be more focused on enjoying himself than studying for the exam. As the day of the exam approached, the students of Class E wondered what challenges lay ahead of them. But one thing was for sure, they were in it together, and they would do everything in their power to climb to the top of the school. The next day, the students of Class E were introduced to their subject teachers for each subject they will be taking. Gaster would be teaching mathematics and science, which brought relief to some students who were worried about their academic performance. Sora and Shiro were put in the same class for English with Ms. Chabashira, and they were both thrilled. They couldn't wait to dominate the class and show off their language skills. Meanwhile, Kiyotaka, Azaoi, and Erida were grouped in the same class for history with Mr. Sakayanagi, a strict but knowledgeable teacher who was well respected by the students. Sans and Papyrus were placed in the same class for physical education with Mr. Hashinomiya, a tough but fair teacher who pushed his students to their limits. As the days passed, the students of Class E began to settle into their new routine. They studied hard, participated in extracurricular activities, and slowly started to climb up the ranks of the school. But it wasn't long before they realized that they were being underestimated by the other classes. They were often looked down upon and disregarded as inferior, which only fueled their determination to prove themselves. Kiyotaka, the strategist of the group, started to formulate a plan to gain private points and increase their standing in the school. He knew that they couldn't rely solely on their academic performance, so he suggested that they participate in the school's sports festival and try to win as many events as possible. Izayoi and Erida were hesitant at first, but they eventually came around to the idea when they realized the potential benefits. Sans and Papyrus were excited to compete in the festival, and they promised to use their unique abilities to help their team win. Sora and Shiro were confident in their language skills and had no doubt that they could win the debate event. They started to prepare for it by studying various topics and practicing their argumentative skills. With their eyes set on the prize, the students of Class E worked tirelessly to prepare for the upcoming sports festival. They knew that it was their chance to prove themselves to the rest of the school and show that they were more than just a group of misfits. As the day of the festival drew nearer, the tension and excitement in the air grew thicker. The students of Class E were ready to give it their all, and they were determined to come out on top. But little did they know, their path to victory wouldn't be easy. The other classes were also preparing for the festival, and they were just as determined to win. The competition would be fierce, and the stakes were high. Will Class E be able to overcome the odds and emerge victorious, or will they fall short and be relegated to the bottom of the rankings once again? Only time will tell. As the sun sets on the first day of their journey, the 7 students of Class E are left with mixed feelings about what their future holds. They know that they are up against a tough challenge, but they also know that they have each other to rely on. As they settle in for the night, they can't help but feel a sense of excitement for the battles and challenges that lay ahead. The next day, they will start their journey towards greatness, but they know that the road ahead will be long and difficult. They will have to use all of their skills and intelligence to overcome the many obstacles that lie in their path. But they are determined to succeed, no matter what it takes. And so, the story of Class E begins. A story of 7 brilliant students who will stop at nothing to climb to the top of their school and prove that they are the best of the best. But will they be able to overcome the challenges that lie ahead, or will they falter under the pressure? Only time will tell.